China, beware. Our CEOs aren't as stupid as you think. There's no doubt in my mind right now that the Chinese government believes they have the upper hand in any potential trade negotiations because they make every necessity imaginable, and we make hardly anything. They no doubt believe that the new, much higher prices on goods made by Temu and Shein, two admittedly beyond cheap online department stores, will be blamed on President Trump when those prices go away. And it would be fair to blame him. I mean, how can they not double prices with a 145% tariff? Somebody has to pay that import tax, and neither of these companies has huge margins, which means it gets passed on to you, the consumer. Oh, and yes, our appliances are largely made over there because they wiped out our industries ages ago, so long ago that people may not even remember that America once made what we used to call white goods. I think the huge tariffs on China will certainly hurt the consumer. Nobody's going to be happy with higher prices or even shortages. But even if the government can't negotiate new trade deals to offset the damage anytime soon, I have faith in our companies and the CEOs. Keep in mind, these companies just went through COVID, which caused all sorts of supply problems. They figured it out and eventually got what you needed. So, sure, you will spend less if the price of Tide goes much higher, right? Procter & Gamble has done enough market research to know that people will wait and only run the wash 3 times per week instead of 5. That'll play out. We don't have that much housing turnover, so it's unlikely that we'll run out of appliances. And the big box retailers are really adept at keeping prices low anyway. They've thought about this. They know how to mitigate the damage. Will we really have to sacrifice? Yeah, but I think the real question is how much we'll have to sacrifice. We had some ugly inflation under Biden. It sucked. Nobody liked paying higher prices, but it didn't torpedo the economy. As long as people can get jobs and those jobs pay enough to cover the cost of newly jacked up prices, we'll be fine, even if nobody's too happy about the situation. Otherwise, we'll just go to Costco and Walmart, the former for cheap bulk products and the latter because their sourcing is so great that I think they can single-handedly save us from being caught in the crosshairs of a trade war. It's why I still like Walmart. It's why we own Costco for the Travel Trust, along, by the way, with TJX, because closeout retailers will thrive as marginal chains try to stay alive by offloading their excess inventory. There may only be a handful of national retailers after this tariff war if it lasts too long. Of course, China doesn't take much from us. I mean, mostly grain, which can be sourced from Brazil or a dozen other countries. It's always been a one-sided relationship. It's a bargain struck by both Democrats and Republicans to sacrifice American jobs on the altar of cheap stuff. I was never a huge fan of this policy, but people in this country love cheap stuff, even if an awful lot of people lost their jobs to the Chinese in the process. Then President Trump decided to overturn this bargain practically overnight without any notice. And now we've got COVID-style supply chain issues all over again. But I think our companies have a much better handle on it, much better certainty than anyone gives them credit for. Now, the one thing the president hasn't done clearly is tell us what the game plan is. Do we want China to start playing fair on the trade front? Do we want them to stop dumping government-subsidized goods on our market? Are we trying to change their supply chains? Are we trying to put them out of business? That's kind of the problem. Nobody knows what the White House is really after. Maybe not even the White House. It's not especially well articulated. But I will say this. American executives know what to do, even if the government doesn't. The Chinese may be seasoned pain takers, but we're plenty resourceful, and we'll get through this just fine. I like to say there's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise I'll find it just for you right here on Mad Money. I'm Jim Cramer. See you tomorrow.